Okay, kids, it's time for another episode of the Fueled by Weird podcast, the only podcast that's still not a member of the Merry Marvel Marching Society yet. I'm Chris Daly, and today I'd like to welcome the one and only host of the Vigilante Vibes podcast, Megan Nichole, to the show. Megan, how are you doing tonight?
Good. I'm super excited to be here. I've been such a fan for so long.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I
Yeah,
likewise. I'm a big
thanks.
fan of your show. I know we were And we're just starting the show right now, but we've actually been talking for like half an hour, something like that. But uh, Chris Mendoza and I were just talking about your show the other day because he said he keeps you, me, and Anthony Iannaccio, aka Mr. Tony Nacho's podcast, on rotation all the time. And so I was like, that's so rad, dude.
I love Tony Nacho as well. I love Chris. He is the backbone of so many people.
Oh, for real. Like, Tony is a super cool dude. We clicked pretty hard because he used to write uh, for WWE, and I'm a big pro wrestling fan for people
Oh
that
wow.
don't already know. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, Chris Mendoza, like I can say very wholeheartedly, I don't have a lot of best friends anymore. I have a lot of friends, but I don't have really any close friends anymore. And he's probably the closest I have to a close friend, and he's such a great dude.
We don't deserve him. Like, I don't care how good of a person anyone is. You don't deserve him.
It's true. And he's going to really appreciate when he listens to this that we talked about him. So
Oh, that's right.
shout out to Chris Mendoza. Such an awesome dude. All right. So, um, again, we've already been talking for a super long time
Yeah.
before this all started, but I like to start things off with an icebreaker question, even though, we've kind of already broken the ice. So, officially, we'll break the ice right now. So, today's icebreaker question is, what fictional family would you most like to be a part of?
Oh,
And
a
it can be
fiction.
Marvel. It doesn't have to be Marvel. It can be any fictional family.
It's hard because a lot of famous families, there are people in the family who are super hot, but if you're in the family, you cannot be a part of that family
That's true.
and be with
It
someone
would
super
be it
hot.
would be super weird.
It would be super weird. Huh. Um, Man, and you don't want to pick a superhero one either because you don't have powers. So it's like, what are you bringing to the table?
It's true.
Hmm. I think I'd want to be in the Winchesters
Okay.
from Supernatural.
Okay.
They don't have powers, but like I could learn to hunt. I could do that.
That works.
Yeah.
I've heard lots of good things about that. I've never actually seen Supernatural. I
What?
haven't ever. My buddy Adam, who passed away, he that was his favorite show ever, and he tried to get me into it for a long time, and I just couldn't. But now I'm like, I wish
Can't
I would
watch
have
it
tried it.
without
I
him.
wish I would have tried earlier. I might try it
Mm,
now, but I just wish I would have tried it so when he was alive, I could have been like, "Hey, dude, this show is whatever."
fantastic.
I
But
did
go
read a
ahead.
book. I did read a book that he was like, "I love this book and I read it every year. And if you don't like this book, I don't know if we can be friends." And I'm like, "I don't like this book. Can we still be friends?" He's like, "Yeah, that's fine." It was a weird book, and I get why he liked it, but it was a weird book though.
Was he a weird dude?
He was a weird dude, and
Yeah.
that's okay. That's what everybody
Best
loved
kind of
about
people.
him. He reminded me a lot of Chris Mendoza, honestly. He was a super good dude.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so he was just a beacon of light.
Big, cuddly, fuzzy dude. Just liked to jam on his guitar.
He's Chris Mendoza. Yeah.
For sure. For sure. Well, so my answer to this question, I wrote this question over the weekend, and I've been thinking since then to try to figure out what fictional family I want to be a part of for the same reason you did, because it's hard to just pick one.
Yeah.
And so on the way home tonight, because I went and did a few errands with my wife and the youngest daughter before this, and I was like, I just don't know what to pick. And she's like, well, what's your question? So I told her, and she's like, she didn't even hesitate and said, I would want to be part of the Gemstone family from the Righteous Gemstones. And
Oh.
if you've never seen the Righteous Gemstones, you should, because it's a fantastic show.
No, I'm familiar with it,
Yeah,
but I never you could have given me a million years and I would never have
right?
thought that.
Right? And I was like, that I was kind of the same thing. I was like, I don't even know what to say. She's like, are you going to steal my answer? I'm like, probably. So I'm stealing her answer because it's a damn good answer.
She sounds dope. One day you should interview her.
My wife,
Yeah, I want to
she's
see
pretty
that.
rad. She actually did 2 episodes of her own podcast um,
Oh,
where she talked about spooky stuff. It was
huh.
called Is It Spooky Time Yet? And this is my official, she needs to get back in the game because I think she really wants to do it. She just hesitated because she got the yips a little bit because her first interview was with a guy named Stephen Bridges Jr., who is a real life I can't even remember what he does. But he's one of those guys that goes in and like he's exorcist. Exorcist.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
oh my
And
gosh.
she talked to him, and that episode on YouTube got like, I think it's over like 100,000 views. And I'm like, that's more than any. You could take all 120 episodes of my show, put them together. It doesn't even touch that. I was like,
She
that's
realizes
incredible,
that doesn't happen for people.
right?
Oh my
And
gosh.
her second episode, she interviewed her favorite horror TikToker. I cannot think of her name.
I wouldn't know who it was anyways. I
Yeah.
don't do
But
TikTok much.
she has a TikToker that talks a lot about horror that she absolutely loves. And uh my former friend hooked her up with an interview and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm talking to this person. I can't believe I'm talking to this person." So it was kind of cool. But she panicked a little bit. Now she's a little bit gun shy to get back into it. But she did really good and I think she should. But yeah, she is super dope. And I might have to find a way to interview her somehow.
Yes, I really want to see that because from what I've heard, she sounds fantastic.
Yeah, she's pretty great. And she's put up with me for 20 plus years. So I think,
So she has stories.
it's true. She has lots of stuff. She has lots of stuff. But yeah, so I would pick the gemstones because Uncle Baby Billy is kind of awesome. And that would be a wild family reunion. It's definitely, everyone's got a little crazy in their family. Everyone's got a little
Yeah.
dysfunction in their family. And, they've got a little bit extra, but that's okay. I think I can handle that.
Yeah, I think, damn, there's really no beating that answer.
It's
But
a
like
pretty
no
good
one,
one.
I'm kind of intimidated by your wife right now from that answer. My gosh.
She's kind of
Like,
intimidating.
what other answers are in her head for other questions we have?
I
All of
couldn't
them.
even imagine tell you. I almost was gonna say I want to be part of Andy, Dwyer, and April's family from Parks and Rec because Andy is one of my favorite characters ever.
Yeah.
Um, to the point where I've got Burt Macklin real close by,
Oh man,
and I've
I
got
have him.
I've got Andy right here too, just hanging out.
I have Andy. Where, dude, there's no telling where that little bastard is.
I
Oh wait,
I have I have a ton in my background,
one second.
but those are ones I have right close.
There. Aha.
Yeah, now oh, you got that one. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
rad. I have Shoeshine Andy.
Oh, that's awesome. That one's cute.
But yeah, I have tons of Funkos back here. I just happen to have a few of my favorites just within arm's reach. So
Mine switch out every other day, so
that's awesome.
yeah.
Very, very awesome. All right. So speaking of my wonderful wife, when I was doing my research, I found out you guys actually share a birthday. So I'm going to remember
What?
your birthday forever, and I want to wish you a happy belated birthday. Even though I think I already wished you a happy birthday
You did.
on your birthday. I'm just wishing you a happy birthday again because I don't think I
Thank you.
realized that you guys had a birthday on the same day. So that's kind of awesome.
That is, I've only met like two other people at the same birthday, and they turned out to be dings. So like, I'm really happy I found someone cool to share a birthday with.
Yeah. January 11th is a good day.
Yes, it is.
Very
That's what
good
I'm
day.
saying.
I don't know if you guys were born the same year. You probably weren't, but that's okay because it's still the same day.
Nope. I'm gonna go after learning about your history with having children and all that. I'm gonna say we
Yeah.
were not born on the same year.
I think it's probably a safe bet. I won't ask because it's not polite to ask, but
93. It's
okay.
93.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you were born way after. You're actually younger than my little brother, which makes me feel very, very old now.
That makes me feel really good because
Yeah,
after this birthday, I was like, I guess it's like all downhill from here.
it is. Once you hit your
Oh, great.
30s, it just starts going down.
Oh, well, what can you do? It's
It's
been
all
a good
right
run.
though. There you go. Exactly. Yeah, so I'm gonna remember your birthday forever, and that's awesome. Very,
That
very
makes me
cool.
very happy. Very good.
Also, I saw a quote on your Facebook that I wanted to ask you about. Tobey Maguire got bit by a spider, but see me, it was a goat. Now, I have a specific reason I wanted to ask about this, but where did you make that up? Did you hear that
No,
somewhere?
that's an Eminem lyric
Oh,
from
I
one of my
haven't
favorite
listened.
songs, Toby.
Okay, I haven't listened to a lot of Eminem since like the first couple albums, so I'm super old and lame, like when those albums first came out. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm super old.
that's
Super,
okay.
super old.
Any Eminem is good Eminem.
True. But yeah, the reason I wanted to ask about that is because it's kind of funny that me and my former best friend, we used to write this online series that it was just like prose writing that we'd post on the internet every time we had it done. And it was kind of inspired by oh my God, I can't think of his name all of a sudden. Um Kurt Busiek. His series Astro City, one of my
Yeah,
favorite comics ever. Um, we decided to write something kind of in the same style where the city was the main character, and you just had it populated with a bunch of superheroes and non-superhero people that so that's kind of the thing we were doing. And one of the characters I came up with was inspired from an episode of Big Bang Theory where Leonard and Penny had went to the petting zoo and Leonard got
yeah.
attacked by a goat. And Sheldon was like, at least it wasn't radioactive. And then I started thinking like, how would that be like if Spider-Man got bit by a radioactive goat instead of radioactive spider? Like how would that kind of turn out? And that kind of just got like the gears running in my head about all the different awesome things that, a super or a Spider-Man, but like a goat instead of a spider. So many awesome possibilities.
I'm glad you brought this to me because you've come to the right person. He would
Yeah.
be a satyr.
Ooh, that's okay. I
Yeah.
like that. I
Yes.
like that very much.
I just watched the Percy Jackson series, so it's like it's right fresh there.
Oh, I need to watch that. So is it pretty good?
It is. I loved the movies. I read the books. I eat all of that up.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, I mean, they're really young. It's maybe it's for kids, but no, it kicks ass. It was a great show.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love the books too, so much to the fact that I went to a used bookstore and found the box set of like the first five, like in
Hmm.
super good condition. So I bought them, and I don't buy a lot of books anymore that are like physical books.
Yeah.
I've read some of the other like continuation books, but they're like super big and they take forever to read. They're good, they just take forever.
Yeah.
The movies were good too. But like they definitely like cut out a ton of stuff. But
As they
I've heard the
did at
show's way
that
better.
time.
Yeah.
I feel like most movies that were based on books, they cut so much out of it around that time. It's like for what it was and when it came out, those movies are pretty great.
Well, a lot of that stuff, they adapted into movies, but I think a lot of it should be adapted into TV instead. Kind of like,
Yeah.
with Percy Jackson now and like what they're doing with Harry Potter. I think it'll come out a lot better as a TV show than a movie. That way it gives them more time to breathe and you can kind of adapt more of it and not have to cut so much stuff out.
Yeah, I agree about the Percy Jackson. The Harry Potter, I like, okay, Harry Potter was my life. Like,
Yeah.
I read the book so often that the binding broke in half, and I
Oh
just
wow.
have to keep buying them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like a huge book nerd, and those were like my everything.
Yeah.
But now, with JKR, it's like one of my best
Yeah.
friends is trans. I can't do it.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What can you do?
I'm not sure if I'm not sure how I feel about the show. The movies are still fun to watch sometimes, even though
Hmm.
I haven't watched them forever. My wife wanted to watch them like every fall because it was just like you can't watch them till
Yeah.
fall because they're fall movies.
Hmm.
We've missed a couple of falls, but um, I'm torn because John Lithgow is going to be in it.
Dumbledore.
He's going to be in it, and Nick Frost, and I love Nick Frost, and I'm torn, man.
I was the same way until JKR ran her mouth
Yeah.
and she admitted that the money she makes from the show will be bankrolling her I don't remember how she described it, her push. And it was like, "You mean the anti-trans push?" And she said something along the lines of, "Yeah, the pro-woman choice, pro-woman push." And I was like, "Oh my God. She's going to use all this money to go after the trans people again."
Well,
But it's like you created a whole world based on one kid not being accepted in this world, but he found his home.
Yeah.
How can you take that away? How can you be so bigoted? Who are you? It's
Yeah.
just ridiculous.
It is dumb. And some people's kids,
Some people's kids.
whatever.
Mm.
So, yeah, that makes my decision, I think, a lot easier to make, I think. Yeah, because she's just an awful, awful person, and we don't need to give her any more time to be here. So
No,
we're
no.
just gonna move on.
Yeah.
So, it's been a little while. You did recently have a big move. How are things going? Are you guys getting all settled in your new place? Like, how's that been?
Um, it's been really well. We moved like only 2 hours away, but
Okay.
my husband's never, he's never moved out of state or really out of within a 50-mile radius. So
Yeah.
this is all new for him, but he's loving it. I'm loving it. We honestly, we moved because um, where we lived, my daughter, who is autistic, she was not getting any resources. No one taking her seriously. We were fighting for every crumb we could get. So we thought she was doing really, really well in kindergarten. Mind you, she's nonverbal. We thought she just didn't like going to school. And then the last day, we go to her kindergarten graduation and we realize she is terrified of her teacher.
Oh my God.
Like the teacher holds her hand, she is freaking out. She is horrified. And that day we took her out and she's crying and we said, well, you will never see this woman again. You will never be in this county again. So that day we started looking at houses right across the border to to another state. And
Wow.
now she's thriving. She's happy. She's talking now. She's happy to go to school. She has teachers that like her because that was the issue. She was the only student that could not talk.
Yeah.
And the teacher made it very clear that she was not liked. And it was getting more and more clear by the end of it because we thought, kids aren't easy. My kid's not easy by any means.
Sure.
Maybe she is like having that tough of time.
Yeah.
But the closer and closer we got to her graduation, I was like, I just don't think she likes her. But in my head, I'm like, you're a teacher. Obviously, you won't let her know that. No, that was not the case.
That's crazy.
So it was a lot, but now she is thriving. She's happy. She can actually talk now. It's just, she wasted a whole year of kindergarten, which she's having to do over now because looking back, we realized we were lied to all year. She cannot write her name, but someone wrote her name. She cannot do all these things we were told. They weren't trying to help her use the potty, like things like that. And like they lied all day, all year. So
That's awful.
it is, but she's where she needs to be now. And we are all very happy.
That's good. Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think that's neat that I saw she started talking now, so that's super rad.
Yeah, she got her nails painted for the first time tonight because she asked it.
That's awesome. Very,
Yeah.
very cool. Well, I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are getting settled in. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Very cool. I'm glad everything's going good now.
Yeah, it's
Very,
a
very
different
cool.
life, but you know, it's slower here, which I think is a good thing.
Absolutely. I'm all about being boring because boring keeps you out of trouble. And a lot of people think that I'm very boring because I don't go out and do a bunch of stuff, but it's like, I'm just kind of a homebody and all my stuff's here. So why would I want to
Yeah.
go anywhere else? I mean, sure, there's stuff to do, but I mean, there's stuff to do here. Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. It's fine.
I go out like it's about like once a year and it's to like a convention or something. It's just for me to get away
Yeah.
because I am with these little demon children all the time.
Yeah.
So this year it looks like it'll be New York Comic Con. That'll be my time away and I'm
Very
very
cool.
excited. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Then I'll need
That's
a year to
awesome.
recuperate, so it'll work out really well.
There you go. All right. So the concept of the show, Feel by Weird, it's, all the things that make you who you are, your hobbies, interests, all that stuff, all come together and make you who you are.
Yeah.
So, in your spare time, what are some of the hobbies? What are some of your interests? Very clearly, Marvel is a big factor in that, but
Yes.
what are some of the things you like to do?
I like doing anything with my hands. So like for right here, I made this puzzle.
Nice.
Yeah, and like really anything. And oh, I made this. This is Molnir.
That's rad.
It's actually cardboard. So, yeah, it's called a 4D build, and I'm trying to tell everyone about it so it becomes a huge thing and they make way more. It's on Amazon.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, so really anything artistic or with my hands. Before we moved, I used to do comic book decor. So I would make like tables, coffee tables, bookshelves, everything like with old comics, torn up comics, all these different types all over it, and I would sell it.
Bookshelf like that one back there behind you.
Oh yeah, that was one of my first ones, and then the coffee table there too.
That's rad.
Yeah,
Very, very cool.
yeah, I used to have a lot of time, but no, not anymore.
Now, you know, the kids will eventually get bigger, then you'll have more time. But yeah,
My problem is, I think it's not them, it's me. I keep just taking things on. Like, it's like, yeah, I want to do a series of all the underrated mutants of the Marvel Universe. It's like, why did I tell myself I'd do that?
yeah, it'll change for sure. Like I know when my kids were little, I felt like I didn't have any time for anything. But then they got bigger, they kind of got, you know, more independent, more into like their own. They were finding their own hobbies, their own interests. I know like my oldest, she's 18, so she's gone either with friends or working all the time. And my youngest, she's really big into designing, so she likes to draw. Like she's been in her room just drawing in notebooks and like crafting. She's been making all these masks because we also have a local convention coming up in June, and they every year they do a cos. This is going to be the fourth one, and they do a cosplay convention every year or a cosplay contest. And she's like, I really, really like she's getting really big into that, and so like she's been like making these masks with like fur and like. She's kind of getting a little bit into the furry culture and the Therian stuff. She really likes that stuff. Um, but she'll like sketch like what would Bluey look like as a human, or what would an alien look like as a human, or she's really big into FNAF, so she'll draw a bunch of FNAF stuff, and she's super, super talented, and she'll just sit and just draw with a sketchbook forever. And her big sister used to be like that too, but then she got older and kind of didn't want to do drawing anymore, which is kind of a bummer because her older sister was really good at it. But my youngest, she is really big into crafting. Like that's her big thing. She got a hot glue gun for Christmas. It was like the highlight of her Christmas.
See, I saw her picture she drew on your page. She
Yeah.
is really, really talented because I
Yeah.
could never do
Yeah.
that.
Me neither. I just stick to writing because I'm a terrible drawer.
I just stick to talking.
I'm not saying I'm a good writer either, but yeah. Talking I'm okay at. This is one of I've been doing podcasts for on and off for like 10-ish years. This is the
Oh,
first
wow.
one I've done as a video podcast. And so it was really weird, like getting in front of a camera doing it. And I'm like, I don't want to do video. He's like, do it because we're
You
doing it.
have
Here we
to.
go.
Yeah.
It's too late. Here we go. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. But yeah, and the first person I ever interviewed was a guy named Garrett Gunn, who's like a real big time in indie comics, does lots of real big stuff with indie comics. So I was like, it's nerve-wracking a little bit, but yeah, we got it done. But yeah, talking on camera is very hard. But you know, it's something I've gotten a little bit better at.
I get it. My first interview was Lawrence Bain. He's from the X-Men 97 and X-Men the animated series. And I thought I was hot shit. I was like, I am amazing. And then we actually had the interview, and he was like the meanest interview I've ever had to this day.
Oh
He was
wow.
so damn mean. It was like a 45-minute session, and I had to cut it down to like 25 minutes.
Oh
He was
gosh.
so mean.
Awful.
Like at one point, he's like, "No, you don't ask that question. You ask me this instead, and I'll answer better." And like, I
Oh
didn't.
God.
Okay, bud, I was asking you for a reason though. So
Yikes.
it was a lot, but he was the one that told me and my former co-host at the time. He was the one that like broke the news that Captain America was going to show up in X-Men 97.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that was pretty cool, but he was still a dick.
That sucks.
It does,
I don't know why
but it's
people have
okay.
to I don't know why people have to be dicks for like you
No,
asked to come on my show and you're gonna be a dick to me? Like what's this about?
I think he thinks he's a lot more famous than he is.
Mm,
Because he came back for the show. He used to be voice Cable, which was
okay.
yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah.
admirable. But
Sure.
this time he only voiced Executioner, who's in like part of one episode.
Yeah.
So I think there was like a little anger there. So he tried to like peacock some. And it's crazy because I interviewed other people from X-Men 97, and they are the nicest human beings. They are the Chris's of the world.
Nice.
Amazing people. So if you ever get a chance,
Chris's
jump.
are awesome people.
Yeah. So if you ever get a chance, jump at it because they just make you feel good. Like you're like,
That's
this
awesome.
is these are who are these are who are leading these nerds into this new culture. Yeah, I'm down.
That's rad.
Yeah.
Very, very rad. So speaking of comics, what we're gonna take a trip in the way back machine, and I
hmm
want to find out what it was that got little Megan into comics in the first place.
I think it was the fact that I wasn't able to get into them, but other people did.
Mm.
I come from a military family, and everywhere we moved, we lived on base. There was no comic book stores. There was nothing
Oh
of the,
wow.
yeah. But all the schools were like elementary, middle school, and high school put together, every single one.
Wow.
So the older kids who could drive and all that, I always liked superheroes. My dad was very into very select superheroes. And like the older kids had comics, they knew what they were talking about. They had cards, some had statues of them, and I always wanted that. So I got really, really into all of it. But it all started like my mom sent me a picture pretty recently of me in a Spider-Man costume that I didn't know about. I didn't know
Wow.
that's part of my life went that far back. So I was
Yeah.
like, it's always been there, Mom. This is who I am. You could have had a princess, but you don't.
That's awesome. Very,
Yeah.
very cool. It's always fun to see, like your parents supporting that kind of thing because that's how I got into comics is my dad would have all these big long boxes all over the place and I'm like,
Oh, wow.
Dad, what are these? And he's like, these are comic books, but don't touch them because I don't want you to touch them because you're a little kid and I don't want you to ruin them. And I'm like, okay, Dad. But then I got older and, then he's like, all right, read some of these, kind of, and I just kind of just dug into them. And my, my weird brain drew me specifically to the official handbook comics
Okay.
because it gave like the background of all these different characters. And my weird, I don't know if it's autism, I don't know if it's ADHD or what have you, but if I'm learning about something new, I like to go all the way back to the beginning to find out like how things got their start, like how they end up how the way they are. And I guess that's why this show is the way it is, right? Because I want to kind of dig in and find out how people got started on their thing. But like I always want to know like the background, what the inspiration for stuff was, how things happened. And so yeah, those ended up being my favorite ones, which is kind of a weird one to you don't hear that a lot. Like you'll hear, oh, I got into Spider-Man big time or I got into the X-Men big time. But like I really like the DC handbooks and the Marvel handbooks just because I like to hear about all the different stuff because I'm just weird that way.
I don't think it's weird. That's actually when I wanted to know about comics. That's what I wanted. I wanted, where did it start? I always start at the beginning. That's why I make my character breakdowns. I start at the beginning when the character is created all the way to up where we are today, because that's what I would have wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when like I start like a new TV show or like a new or not a TV show, that's a bad example. If I want to start like a podcast, like for your podcast, I went all the way back to the beginning and I went from there. A lot of people think that's crazy to do because it's like the newer stuff is so much better, and that's not just your show. That's like other shows are
Yeah.
example. Like one of my favorite podcasts is My Brother, and Me. It's three brothers. It's a comedy podcast. They do advice, and it's really terrible advice, but it's supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
But a lot of their early shows were a little bit rough, so people are like, "Don't go all the way back." But it's like you have to go all the way back to kind of get the story of how they are now. And if I can't go all the way back and listen to your podcast from episode one, then I just probably won't listen just because that's how my weird brain works. I just have to know how they got started and, how you came or see where you came from to where you are now.
Yeah, and I like to see if the people are like kind of on the same vibe as they were before. Like there are some people who change what they believe in, they change how they act, what kind of
Yeah.
person they put out there for the world. I want to know who I'm supporting. So I start
Yep.
all the way at the beginning. So I get
Same.
it.
Yeah, like that show I mentioned, My Brother and Me, they've changed. I mean, they weren't ever bad people, but they definitely changed a lot from their first episode to now, which is like episode 800 something, I think.
Oh,
But
wow.
they're incredible guys. They are very nice boys, kind of like the Chris's of the world, like we mentioned before. So they're very awesome guys, but they're just three brothers that just get together and talk every week just because they wanted a reason to be able to stay in touch and talk to each other. And so like, well, if we're already getting on a call, let's just record it and make it funny. All right,
I
cool.
love I love those reasons for doing a podcast. It's not like we were
Right?
just bored. I think that's really sweet.
Right? I agree. I agree. So when it comes to comics, clearly, you have a favorite. So what was it that specifically drew you to Marvel over any other comic?
I think the familiarity of it. I was raised with X-Men, the animated series, Spider-Man, all
Yep.
that. And for DC, I've always been a good DC fan. Not a huge DC fan, but a good one. But, Batman, the animated series, all that, that got me too. But I didn't watch as much DC as I did with Marvel, so I'm a creature of habit. If I don't know the
Okay.
characters or anything, it takes me a little time to like brace myself. Like right now,
Yeah.
DC has DC Vertigo happening that has all these new characters, new stories, which has been fantastic. I honestly, I've really liked it. But I
Yeah.
do have to like get in when I start reading. I'm like, all right, just calm down, get yourself familiar. It's fine. I just like my comfort zone. It's my zone.
I get that. That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not a bad thing. I
Mm-mm.
just kind of was curious, like, I know your show is a lot Marvel centric for the most part. So I just was kind of curious, like, was there something specific? And it sounds like, as a kid of the 90s, you grew up on all the staples of the 90s,
Yeah.
X-Men, Superman or X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman. So yeah, all the typical 90s staples. So I that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that was my whole life because we moved everywhere. So we didn't really
Yeah.
have, we didn't have people we knew. We just have had Saturday morning and after school cartoons.
That was the one thing you could count on your stability was
Yes.
Marvel. I get that. That's
Yeah.
cool. Very, very
Yeah.
cool. Now, one other thing I want to talk about before we jump into your show is, you kind of mentioned it a little bit before with Nerd Initiative. So why don't we take a minute for the people who don't know about Nerd Initiative, what it is, and kind of, how what you do with them.
So Nerd Initiative is it's a website, but we're really everywhere. We're the positive, number one place for pop culture positivity. Nerd Initiative kind of has my same vibe as we want to be non-toxic. We want to celebrate what we like. We want to talk about fun things. Escapism is everything. So I, they first asked me to join about a year or 2 years ago, and I am very picky about who I align myself with because I'm very, very strict in my values. I will not allow any toxicity. I will not allow racism, sexism, all that kind of stuff. And it was nice to find a place that actually understood that. So we have comic reviews. Today was New Comic Book Day, so all of our reviews went out for Marvel, DC, Image, Dynamite, all those. And we also do press. We get to go to press junkets for movies, TV shows. I'm trying to get on the Spider-Man Noir one right now. We cover everything. Like I said, TV shows that books, sports, gaming, anime, everything. There's something in there for everyone to like, but you will not have to worry about any drama, any toxicity, nothing of that sort. Just somewhere where you can just be off guard and just enjoy what you enjoy.
That's awesome. That kind of sounds
Yeah.
like a lot of the work I did with that site I mentioned before, Geek Network. A lot of stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun being a part of a big website like that where you've got stuff that's going out, and especially being part of all those junkets is really cool. And that's something I kind of miss sometimes, but at some other times I'm like I do not miss being that busy writing articles all the time about having the deadlines and stuff like that because writing comic book reviews is extremely difficult. And for me,
Yeah.
because you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. You want to write it in a way that helps, promote the book. But if it's a book you hated, like how do you write a review for something that you just really didn't like? So it's like what I did for a while was not every book is made for everybody. And so
Yeah.
there's obviously going to be books that you don't like. So I'd kind of gear it in a way it was like for fans of this kind of stuff, you're gonna love this book, and this book has this and this and this and this. So that's kind of how I tried to do that because I had an experience when I used to write. So a former friend and I we used to write reviews and post them online, and we would rate them like out of 5 Green Lantern rings because Green Lantern was like our favorite superhero. And
Oh.
I rated a comic, I think it was like a 3 out of 5 or something like that, and the comic creator came after me. He's like, "What do I need to do to get more a higher rating? Like, what can I change on my book?" I'm like, "You don't need to change it just because of what I said. I had a different opinion about it. Just because I didn't like it doesn't mean there's not, a ton of other people out there that do. You shouldn't change it based on one person. You should, do what you want to do. And if it doesn't hit with someone, it's just not going to hit with someone, and that's okay. Like you don't have to beat yourself up over it."
Yeah, I think people don't quite realize that just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah,
Like there's so many things I don't like that many people love, and it's like I don't think it's bad. It's just not for me. And there's been a
right.
lot of comics like that that's just they're
Yeah,
not for me. I'm not the target audience, and I have really weird tastes. So
and that's okay.
yeah, no problem with that.
Yeah, people just don't understand. Like you don't have to change just for, to satisfy one person because, for every one person that didn't like something, there's going to be, 15, 20 others that do. So, you just have to kind of just deal with it, really.
Yeah, I mean, you're asking for reviews and opinions. They're not always going to be good. I made a pretty like spicy episode this week about why Charles Xavier is a piece of garbage, and I didn't think anyone would agree. Some did. Some think I threatened their mother.
Yeah,
So,
I saw I
some
saw
people
some of those comments.
some people have daddy issues with Charles Xavier, and that's
Yeah.
okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. But my God,
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
it was funny too. It's like he's it's fine. It's whatever.
The path we choose,
Yeah. He chose a bad one, so I don't care what anyone says.
for
He's a bad
sure.
guy.
Well, that's cool. Everyone make sure you check out Nerd Initiative for all your nerdy news. Make sure you go hit
Yeah.
them up because it sounds like they're good people. So,
I'm on the exec team, so like we're overseeing everything. We're all involved in every little bit. And I can say like Nerd Initiative is made up of the greatest people. Just the sweetest people who all have the same passion for just enjoying something without fearing that there's toxicity in it, or you can just turn your brain off. You don't have to think of the political implications of something or anything like that. You can just enjoy it.
nice.
Yeah,
I definitely need more friends like that. So I'm gonna have to go find those guys and see if they want to be my friend because I need more friends like that.
they probably will.
Awesome.
I'll talk you up.
Sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So now we're here for the big main event. I want to talk about your show,
Hmm.
the Vigilante Vibes podcast. So,
Yeah.
time to hit everybody with my catchphrase. So, for those out there who have never heard of your podcast, Vigilante Vibes, before, why don't we take a minute to tell them about it?
So it is a non-toxic Marvel podcast. I think the Marvel fandom is getting more and more toxic by the day, whether people are complaining about race swapping, whether people are complaining about gender bending or something just so mundane that it's like you're not even trying to enjoy what's being put out. So I wanted to have a place where you can learn about Marvel. You will not get told something is woke. You will not get told that there's too much representation. Nothing like that. I celebrate all of it. It's completely inclusive. You'll have LGBTQ representation, person of color representation. And I think that's what we should have in the comic book industry, in the movie industry, all of these things. And you'll learn about Marvel characters because I do a lot of breakdowns where like I said before, I start way from the beginning and I tell you the character's entire history. And then I give you comic reviews to check out to get to know them yourself. So yeah, it's not only Marvel. Sometimes I post it's majority Marvel, I'll be honest. It's like 90% Marvel.
Yeah,
But then there's something that I'll post that like Stranger Things, or I posted a video reaction to Mortal Kombat 2. Just things I love and I think other people like too.
very awesome. And yeah, I saw that the new Mortal Kombat trailer came out today, and I have not had a chance to watch it yet, but I'm very, very excited.
I was very unsure about the movie because I thought the first movie was just such a snoozer. I fell asleep during it. And so this one I was like, whatever. I mean, it's Carl Urban as Johnny Cage, whatever. And then I saw the trailer today. I'm like, you know what? I'm in. You know what? Just say no
Yeah.
more.
So I was a pretty big fan of it, except for oh, that one guy, the throwaway guy that was the like the fighter who was not very good fighter, like the I can't remember his name, and that's how
Oh,
much I don't care about him.
Cole.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they could have just taken him out and it would have been fantastic, but he was just awful.
I
Um,
think if this movie doesn't open up with him dying, there's a problem.
you're not the only person I've heard say that actually.
Oh my God, really?
So many other people are like, man, I really hope they kill him in the beginning. And I can't disagree. Um,
It'd be a power move.
absolutely. So yeah, so what I said earlier about, trying to dive into the backstory of stuff and find out how things are the way they are. I think that's kind of what drew me to your podcast is because basically it's the verbal version of, those source books I used to read when I was a kid. So your podcast is fantastic. And if I
Oh,
haven't said
thanks.
that yet, it's super fantastic.
Thanks.
It's a good way to get to know about Marvel. And I know you said it's not an MCU podcast, but I do know you cover the MCU just a little bit,
I cover
which is
everything
okay.
Marvel.
Yeah.
Everything Marvel. And if the MCU, if there was a big movie coming out, I would be talking about it too. So with it's always comics because I love Marvel comics.
Yeah.
And I think any way to get more people into comics is not a bad thing. But with
100%.
MCU, whatever they give me, I will cover. But they have given me nothing. I'm still waiting for a full Daredevil Born Again trailer. I cannot tell you how many I wake up every day thinking this is it. This is the day. And
Yeah.
then Spider-Man Brand New Day, I think that's a full trailer is going to come out at CinemaCon. That's my assumption. So if it does, you heard it here first. And Doomsday, we don't need anything for Doomsday. Just leave it alone.
Yep. Let's just go. Go
Yeah.
right in.
Yeah, go right in, but also,
Yep.
why would you give us a trailer a year out?
It's true.
Yeah, like what are you doing? I get
It's
wanting
true.
to hype it up, but just just stop.
Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
speaking of Marvel, I do have to make sure we have to mention Miss Amy Piero a little bit because how
Love her.
fantastic is she? Because I just got the chance to talk to her as well, and man, she's so great.
She is. I was her first interview.
Really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
she found me on Threads and said, "Would you ever want to talk to someone like me?" And I was like, "I will talk to a doorknob.
Yep.
I talk to myself every
Yep.
day." Yes, of course. So she's very, very sweet. It's very funny because her first interview, she was so nervous. She was terrified.
Yeah.
But then I interviewed her again, and it's like, you're a different person. You just got it. You clicked.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know when I was looking for people this season, she was one of the very first people to reach out. She's like, I'd like to be on your show. And I'm like, let's do it. Let's make
she
it
does
happen.
that. She does not shy away from asking. I love that about her.
That's okay. I love when people ask me. If I had enough time, I would get everybody on my show. There was a point when I was working with Geek Network that I did like 7 interviews in 5 days, which is crazy. But
Makes me tired.
that was back when I was just showing up, hosting the show, and then I would leave somebody else to do all the editing and stuff. Now I do all that stuff. So
Yeah,
it would be impossible to do that many interviews in that little time. So I got like one a week in me, and I wish I could do more, but I just can't. And I try really hard to get everybody included, but it's hard.
it is.
Um, so yeah, your show is fantastic. I love it because it helps me learn about stuff, and I love sharing it out because if people don't know about stuff, go listen here. Especially with West Coast Avengers, because I've been a
Yeah.
fan of the band Kirby Crackle for a long time. Shout out to Kyle Stevens, the lead singer of Kirby Crackle. Their older albums used to have a bunch of very heavy comic related stuff, one of my favorite songs, the West Coast Avengers. Or no, Great Lakes Avengers. Great
Yeah.
Lakes Avengers.
I was
Sorry.
like, did I get it wrong?
I don't know why I said West Coast Avengers. Great Lakes Avengers. And
You're
it's a
so goofy.
fantastic song. So when you release that episode, I'm like, oh, you have to go listen to this song. It's so great.
I like the song. Like, I never hear new music because I'm such a creature of habit. I'm still listening to music I added from like 2011.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, I don't know. It's a new song. And I tried it. I was like, you know what? Like, they cooked with this.
Yeah, it's like I think it's from about the same time frame, like early 2010s, but all their music is very nerd related. I mean, the band is named after the Kirby Crackle process. So, yeah, lots of nerd stuff, lots of like songs about going to cons. A bunch of there's one song called X-Men Pool Party.
I
Super
saw
great.
that one. Yeah.
So good.
Love
Um,
it.
so yeah, if you want to learn about Marvel, check out the show. So what I wanted to ask was what how did you come up with the idea for the show in the first place?
Um, I have a group on Facebook called the Nerd Haven, which is a non-toxic nerd group where, you're just free to have your opinions. We're not going to let anyone trash you for it. And before it was just an open nerd group, it was a non-toxic Marvel group. It was just Marvel. And that was kind of gatekeepy because every other fan wanted a place to talk about their stuff too, not just Marvel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I like opened it up to all forms of nerd culture, and that worked really well for all the members. But I was like, man, all I'm doing is just talking about Marvel. So I knew I wanted to do something with Marvel, but I didn't know what. And then my group got sponsored by Facebook and they gave me a grant. And I was like, and they said, like, with this money, you have to do something that's Facebook related. And I was like, I'm going to do a podcast and I'm going to bring on group members. I'm going to have them involved. And Facebook loved it. So that's what I spent the grant on. And I just have not stopped since because I love it. It's a good outlet. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun podcasting. Sometimes, you'll go in after you've had a really long day and just be like, oh, like I don't know if you ever have these days, but I've had these days where it's like I had a really long day, the day job was tough. I've got stuff going on, but it's like I don't know if I can podcast today, but it's like no, I can podcast today. I just gotta just take a minute and just switch over and I'm just gonna have a great time. And it's
Yeah.
hard sometimes.
It is, especially if you're going to go talk to someone, because usually I'm talking to myself, and
Yeah.
that, like, I'm perfectly fine with that. I actually really love that.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go talk to someone else, you're like, oh my God, you got to get in the mood. You can't bring the other person down. You got to just put your day to the side and just you're in this moment. And that I
Yep.
find that really hard a lot.
Oh, totally. And it's not even anything against the person. Like it's not that
No.
like I'm not looking forward to because like today, I was super looking forward to come talk to you. And that's the case with almost everybody I talk to, but it's like sometimes it's like, I really want to give this person my best. And, if my day was super crappy, then it's going to be hard to give them my best. But I know that if I can just get to it, it's going to change my whole day. And it always does.
I had that day, so I started drinking coffee at like 5 p.m. I was like, I got to get it together.
Oh
Like,
gosh.
I was so, it's just like kids and stuff. And I was like running on
Yeah.
such little sleep. And I was I, like, I was obviously looking very forward to this. But like when you're leading up to it, you're like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just not the day. But it
Yep.
was like, you just got to get it out of that mind because it's like you're going to
Yep.
sit in there. And like, say I said, let's reschedule. I'm just going to sit in that negativity of my
Yep.
own. It makes no sense.
Yep. I agree. And like, sleeping well or not sleeping well. And for some reason, I woke up and I have a CPAP machine now, and I took it
Okay.
off during the night for some reason. And I woke up, I'm like, why is it over there? And so yeah, I slept kind of crappy. But it's like, I have the interview to look forward to, and I'm very
Yeah.
excited. So we're gonna forget the tired. It's gonna go away, and we're just gonna
Yeah.
go for it. And it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's the life of a podcaster. It's hard sometimes, but it's definitely super worth it. And my good buddy Hassel, shout out to him. This is a lot of shout outs today. He always says, if it starts becoming, you know, stressful or it starts to become like a job, then, you got to do it until it's not fun anymore. As soon as it stops
Yeah.
being fun, then you need to stop doing it. And as long as you can stay in the mindset of it, it's fun and it's not, if it's not work, then it's fun. And, if it ever gets to the point where it's not fun anymore, that's kind of where you should stop doing it. And hopefully it never hits that point because it's a lot of fun.
I personally think it's very, very good for us to do it because it does force me to get out of that kind of mood or that negativity. Because for who, for myself, I've had issues with like postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, all that. And
Yeah.
if I get in that mood and just stay in that funk, it's just going to get worse and worse. But,
Yeah.
podcasting forces me to get out of it, forces me to not think about it because I'm telling you about Mr. Sinister's childhood or something.
Yeah,
And it's just like, it kind of restarts you.
for sure. Now, when it comes to episodes of your show, how do you decide what you're going to talk about?
If it's comic book based, it's usually lately it's been more listeners telling me what characters they want broken down or what they want to hear about or what comics they want to hear about. Usually it's whatever I read, whatever I'm reading. Like I was reading X Vengers and I was like, oh, I haven't made one about Danny Moonstar, so why not? Or some if it's more MCU based, it's whatever's coming out, which I'm really dry right now. And I'm so annoyed about it because like I want the Daredevil Born Again trailer. Just what are you doing?
right?
Yeah, I've been so mad about it for days now because it comes out
Yeah.
next month.
More Wilson Fisk, more Jessica Jones. And
Oh,
Wilson,
yes.
oh man, Vincent D'Onofrio is so perfect as Kingpin. It's ridiculous.
I met him and he is like the complete opposite of Kingpin. Like he is
Really?
kind and humble and like he doesn't do speaking engagements much because kept forgetting to put the microphone to his mouth and
Yeah.
he was just talking to a whole auditorium. Everyone's like, the mic, put the mic up. And he's like, oh shit, sorry. And then I met him and like I told him how much I appreciated that he brought a character to life and he was able to be so stable with the character and bring heat to the character each and every time we saw him. And like I almost cried talking to him. Not that I have like an
I get that.
attachment. Yeah,
Yeah.
not that I don't have an attachment to Kingpin, but it was just like this is someone I've watched for what, like a decade now?
Yeah,
He was on Netflix. Yeah. So yeah, he's so sweet, such a nice guy. You would not think he's Kingpin, and he's a
for
lot
sure.
thinner than you
Oh
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I don't really have a I mean I do now because of him and how awesome he is, but just the fact that like he's so perfect. Like he looks so good as Kingpin. Like it's
Yeah.
like perfect casting. Like everyone said, Robert Downey Jr. was perfect as Tony Stark, but like I think he's just as good, if not better, as perfect casting for him.
I think most of the characters in Daredevil are that way because Charlie Cox as Daredevil is 100%
Oh,
RDJ
100%.
as Iron Man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That Foggy Nelson, I
hmm
hate Karen. Can't stand Karen, but I'm sure she's good or
My
whatever.
when we were watching the first Netflix Daredevil, my wife said the exact same thing. She's like, I would love this show if it wasn't for her.
I know. And I never meet people like that. They're like, oh, well, that's just because you don't know Karen in the comics. I know Karen in the comics. Sure, she was a piece of garbage too. But like, it's something about the actress I cannot
Yep.
stand. And I'm sure she's nice. I'm sure she's sweet, but I don't know what it is. And it's the same thing with Jake Gyllenhaal. I can't stand that guy either.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I know my wife doesn't like her because I think she was in True Blood and my wife hated her in True Blood.
Oh,
I think that's
that's
why.
a good reason.
But I hear that she's super, super nice. I've seen a couple interviews with her. She's like a big nerd. She does
Yeah,
Dungeon Master for
D&D.
D&D all the time. And so I heard I'm sure she's a very pleasant person. Just that character is just the drizzling shits, really, for lack of a better word.
She really is. And she just gets worse and worse. But maybe this is the season.
Maybe,
Maybe she
maybe.
just bites the dust. I hope so.
I I was kind of hoping they just didn't bring her back at all, but that didn't work out either.
I think I do agree with them bringing her back because I think Foggy's death hit harder now that she was there. I
That
don't
makes
think it
sense.
would have hit as hard.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
What do you
Whatever,
do?
Karen.
Whatever, Karen. Well, that's cool. I wasn't really sure, because when you go to sit down to write an episode, I wasn't sure like if you pulled from somewhere specific. So that's good to know that it kind of just comes from wherever at the time, really.
Yeah, there's not like a whole list of underrated mutants or anything. It's really just like I'll be reading because I have to read so many to review them every week. So I'll
Yeah.
be reading and I'm like, oh, Marrow, I forgot all about her. And then you go and like read every notable thing that's happened in their life. Like I get my money's worth with Marvel Unlimited. I
Yeah.
get it's just I read so much now and I'm just so tired.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. All right. So, do you have some upcoming episodes that you have kind of planned out that you can talk about that just kind of like a coming up on Vigilante Vibes? Like you can expect to see this.
Yeah, I have quite a few episodes scheduled now. Tomorrow I have one coming out that's Mr. Sinister. Then I have Kitty Pride. Oh, Gambit as well coming in the next few weeks.
Nice.
So, yeah, and currently writing one for Marvel's Black Knight and someone else. Now I forgot who it was. But yeah, there's no rhyme or reason as to who it is. That just it's whoever comes to me and whoever my listeners actually ask for it. I got asked for Onslaught today, and I was like, man, fuck. I didn't think about Onslaught.
Yeah, you could have looped that in with your Xavier one.
I do mention Onslaught because you know what? Xavier's trash. Karen and Xavier is trash.
I
Just
still
both.
remember when I read the Onslaught comic for the very first time when they did the big reveal of who Onslaught was, that legitimately blew me away. I was
I
blown away.
I went into that knowing because I read it late, and I went into that knowing it was Xavier. So I was like reading. I was like, I know who it is at the end. And I've always hated Xavier. I've that he is such a bastard. And then when you read things he's actually done, and like your stomach starts to turn, you're like, oh my God. Like his love for a very young Jean Grey, or the fact that she's not the only young student he did something super inappropriate with. It's just you don't look at him the right way anymore.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that as a kid and thinking, because my dad was a huge Trekkie. So I was like,
Hmm.
if they ever make an X-Men movie, I think Patrick Stewart would be a fantastic Professor Xavier. Forgetting all the other awful stuff about Professor Xavier.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Kelsey Grammer would be an awesome beast someday if they ever did that. And turns
You
out
just said these things.
I
You did
did,
this.
right?
I love the live action ones, the TV series ones. They're shady at best, but the live
Yeah,
action one, Patrick Stewart is amazing. And who
so
plays the
good.
young one?
Oh, I can't remember his name, but
What
he's
is his
fantastic
name?
too. James McAvoy.
Yes, him.
So good.
Phenomenal. The
So
only
good.
reason I watch some of those X-Men movies.
Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah.
the one where Wolverine showed up, where they were going to recruit the team, and he's just like, "Fuck off!" Like
Yeah, and
that
then
blew me
that
away
got brought
too.
up in the next movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
that
Th-
that was
those
so perfect.
those movies are so confused.
They're
Just
wild. I kind of like them though, because they're just so
yeah.
unhinged, kind of.
I have a very soft spot for them because it's like for the time before anyone cared about canon or keeping up with anything.
Yeah,
It they were fine. Some are certainly not fine,
yeah.
but
I'm with
they're
you on
still
that dark.
there.
I'm with you on that Dark Phoenix one. That one is rough. I still need to try and give it like an honest go, and because I've only got partway through, and I'm like, this is terrible.
Yeah, I
But
watched it last week and at the end of it I was like, "You know what?
that was
It
a
still
movie.
wasn't as bad as Logan."
I'm so bad. I still haven't seen that either. I'm so
It's
behind.
ugh, everyone loves that movie and I'm here to tell you it's overrated and everyone can shut up because it's a downer. I I like movies that are emotional, but this one, if I leave the theater feeling like depressed, I don't like that movie. I don't want to like that movie.
I get
So,
that. I do kind of go for stuff like myself where it's not like I want it to be like happy or it's like action where it's like yeah, a bunch of stuff going on or just mystery even is good, but
yeah.
yeah, like sad stuff. I'm not okay leaving the theater sad. I totally understand that.
Yeah, I just want to be entertained.
It's
I don't
true.
want to go back to therapy sessions.
Yeah. I mean, life's already depressing enough as it is sometimes. I don't need a movie to tell me that. I need a movie to make me forget,
Facts.
right?
Exactly. Plus, I
Exactly.
could have gone my whole life without seeing Professor Xavier piss all over himself and Wolverine.
Right?
Spoiler alert for
Exactly.
you.
Spoiler, thanks a lot. All right, so before I let you go, I want to have you kind of give a bit of advice to other creatives out there, maybe even other creatives that want to start their own podcast. What's some advice you would share?
Um, I know it's scary when you first start because you don't really know how you sound, you don't know how to talk into a camera by yourself. Just go and start talking to yourself. Pretend that you're going to make a video and actually record yourself doing it. Get comfortable because if you're not comfortable behind a camera or behind a mic, you are going to be on edge forever. The most important part is you being comfortable. You can talk about whatever you want, which you should, because I mean, the podcasting world is huge and it's also one of the most inviting environments of all time, and we
It's
will
true.
support you.
It's true.
So just get comfortable with yourself. Fix whatever lighting that makes you good. Have a good place to record. Just be comfy.
It's true. And yeah, you have two friends right here that will support you no matter what.
Yeah. And you can
Just do
ask
it.
advice. Most podcasters, if they're not dinks, will help you. Will give
It's
you
true.
advice.
And yeah, totally agree about the way you sound thing because I still have a weird thing about how I sound. I almost never listen to these back ever because I don't like the way I sound, and the way I sound to you is not the way I sound to me. It's super different. Um, but I almost only listen back to these if I'm talking to someone for, a repeat guest, so I don't repeat the same stuff. Even though I keep all my notes, I just don't want to talk about the same stuff. So I'll listen back sometimes. I hate listening to myself. It's weird.
I used to hate it. It used to be like, oh my God, just there. I would add captions to it and then edit it with the sound off. So that's how much I hated it. I would just
Oh,
read
wow.
what I was saying.
Yeah,
But at some point, if you're not confident in yourself, why should people be competent in your what you're putting out?
that's a good point. That's good advice for me. Thank you.
You're
That's
welcome.
that's good advice.
And I think you sound fantastic. So,
And as do you.
oh, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so where can people find you on the internet? Where can people stay up to date with everything going on with you?
You can find me anywhere by looking for Vigilante Vibes podcast or Vigilante Vibes pod. Threads, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky. Don't look for me on TikTok. I'm not gonna go post on there anymore. Twitter, just I only post episodes there. They're not. Don't put any hope into that. YouTube, Vigilante Vibes pod. Spotify, Apple, everywhere.
Very, very cool.
Mm,
And yeah, go follow her everywhere because she's awesome. Um,
thanks.
definitely check her out if you haven't already. It's definitely worth it for sure.
Well, thanks.
Um, for me, I want to thank Polygon Horizon. The song Pizza Force is the song we use for the show. I don't know why I always say we, it's just me. The song I use for the show. It's a great song. It's super nerdy song. Go check them out on Bandcamp and SoundCloud. They've been super nice to let me use their song, so let's kind of show them some love back to show them some support. You can find Fueled by Weird on Instagram, Facebook. I'm on TikTok still because I find a lot of people there. And I like TikTok just because I find lots of cool music on there. And that's really the
Yeah.
only thing I go on there for because I find bands I never would have found any other way. Um, also hit me up at fueledbyweird at gmail.com if you want to send me an email, want to be on the show, want to talk about podcasting tips or other nerdy stuff. Find the show on YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. And I also have a link tree. Go check out my link tree. You can get all the links there if you don't remember. Fueled by Weird's pretty easy, but if you don't remember, go there. They're all there. Check out my dude Hassel Hutchison. He's got a show, the Nerdy Manroom Show, on the channel of the same name. He also has Hassel's Review, Card Subject to Change. Card Subject to Change is a what if for pro wrestling. So it's like what if for Marvel, but it's for pro wrestling. Kind of awesome if you like pro wrestling. He does a lot
Cool.
of reviews too. Also check out Big Rob's House of Entertainment and No Chinese Food. He does a lot of toy hauls and stuff like that. So go check that dude out. We're part of the Stay Weird Network. It's a podcast network dedicated to bringing some awesome back to the internet because, like we said, the internet sucks sometimes. So we want to try to put a little positivity in and make the world a little bit better place. Check us out at Stay Weird Network on YouTube and Instagram. Also, check us out at stayweirdnetwork at gmail.com. Hassel started putting some stuff over there for hidden horror gems where he shares about horror movies that you might not have heard of that he'll give you a little bit of review on. I have a new show called Fueled by Music where I just share music that I found that I think is awesome and I think you guys should know about it too. And you might already know, but you might not. So go check us out there, show us some love. If you like the show, please leave a review and tell your friends because word of mouth is my friend. And remember, kids, it's only weird if you make it weird. So make it real weird. Megan, thanks so much for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me. It was very fun.
Absolutely.